from clarkwoods.com. This is horribly off topic. Episode number 128. I am Chris.
And I'm Steve.
And Steve, I don't know if you're familiar, but 128 is a parking lot.
Oh, didn't you hear? The parking lot's a 128. That would be kind of crazy if the parking lot was so large that it was a major route.
There's a major route. I don't know. I mean, there are probably some Walmarts or Sam's Clubs down south where pretty much the whole community is built around it, and maybe their parking lot is the size of a major highway.
Why would you need a parking lot that big if the whole community is based around it?
Because most of them are living out of their trailers.
Wander over in their with their legs.
Wander over with their legs, in their short shorts and their sweatpants with a half tee. It says, "Who farted? I did."
Is this a bit?
Drink.
Is this a Patton Oswalt?
I got my half bag, my full bag of popcorn, because I always like to wake up in new cities with treasures in my teethers.
Wow. I imagine when I first heard that, that I left.
This is the first time you've heard me do it.
Well, yeah, I know. It's through a different lens.
That's what they all say. 128 is a parking lot. I went on
to 128. You were on 128 to get here.
128 to get here. No, but I went on to Route 128 or the 128 if you're from California. I went on the 128. Why do they add that? I don't. Is that
on West Coast? It's like because like in like I think it's west of the Mississippi.
West of the Mississippi. Yeah. So your radio stations start with K, and then you have the in front of your highways.
Out here in the East Coast where it makes sense, there's W before your radio station.
Right. And you just say 128.
Yeah. Everyone you just say the number.
About.
You don't need to say
95.
Yeah, I'm on.
You do say Route 3, right?
Well, maybe just I say Route 2 as well. Maybe if it's a single digit.
Single digit. Route 2, Route 1.
Yeah,
Route
you
2,
don't.
Route
But
3,
like if it's
93. Sorry, go ahead.
128, 495. You don't say route when it's more than one digit.
It's more than one digit.
110.
110.
What's the name of some of them other roads around here?
125.
Oh, I say Route 20.
Route 20. Okay, so is it 3-digit? No, because 93. So is it like major roads? I don't know.
Maybe Route 20 is an anomaly.
It's an anomaly. Do we say Route 3? Do we say Route 3 specifically because we grew up around a cinema that was called the Route 3 Cinema?
No, but I call Route 2, and we didn't grow up next to the Route 2 Cinema.
Where's that at?
I don't know.
There probably was one at some point.
There was one on 119 in Littleton. It was the Littleton Flick. Getting very, very local for you. Now it is
very old.
It is an Acton Toyota of Littleton.
Oh, that's where I took my car and spent 4 hours yesterday.
Well, at least they have
Friday.
At least they have did you get free lunch at least?
I got free breakfast, which was my second breakfast.
Oh, what are you?
I didn't have 11Zs, which just sounds. Those hobbits, they have fun. They know how to.
I don't mind that dealership. I mean, they have
No, they're all right. It's just I didn't expect to spend 4 hours there. And so here was my plan. My plan was I was going to go there in the morning. I was going to spend far less money than I did.
Well, you went to the dealership. You're obviously going to spend more money.
I know I'm going to spend more money. I thought I was going to spend less money than I did. I spent a lot of money because it had been a while since I'd had major service done, and the drums on my rear brakes were rotting.
So what I suggest, and this is referring to the company that made an ad that you referred to at the beginning of the show.
Yes, I never got around. Yeah. I got something to say about that.
Sullivan Taya. Mm-hmm. I find that they do comparable service for considerably less, and it's not like with any garage you have to like there was one up in North Chelmsford that I always used to take my car to.
Right.
That they always did a decent job on my piece of shit Corolla or my piece of shit Acclaim, and they made it so I didn't die in my car.
Right.
Oh, well, my favorite thing that happened with that fucking Acclaim was that the speedometer stopped working.
I had a car like that.
And so, like, when you have that problem in a car, it's like when a cop pulls you over and asks you, "Do you know how fast you were going?" This never happened to me in this car, thank God.
But when you have that problem, you're always thinking it's going to happen.
Yeah, it'd be like, "Do you know how fast you're going?" No, sorry. I guess I must have not been paying attention. Just trying to go along with the flow of traffic.
Yeah. That's the way. Yeah. I had a conversation with my friend John on the way from
friend John,
my
not your
friend
brother
John,
John.
not my brother John. On the way,
Which John? A different John?
John Martin.
Okay.
Yeah. John and I were talking.
He does not follow me on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Does he not like me?
I don't know. He doesn't follow. I mean, he's not on Twitter a ton either. I'm
just disappointed because I follow him.
Yeah.
It bums me out that he doesn't follow me back.
I don't know.
Talk to him.
I will.
Just be like, Steve's just a little bummed. He wants to bury the hatchet, and not in like the literal sense.
Yeah. You don't want to bury it between his shoulder blades.
No, I think we've progressed beyond our differences.
You're definitely not in a what's that woman's name who gave her husband or her mama 40 whacks?
What?
Yeah, this is the woman who gave her mama 40 whacks. I think it's on YouPorn. No, it's no. She gave her.
Is this a news story that
she gave her daddy 40 whacks? And that's on YouPorn. No. It's a Lizzie Borden.
Oh,
Lizzie Borden gave her daddy 40 whacks.
You're going history thing. I thought you were talking about something that happened recently.
Recently is all a matter of perspective.
So people say that they use the expression 128 as a parking lot.
Yes.
But like, and traffic around here is pretty abysmal. Like during rush hour. I mean, you commute into the city. I decided to not do that and take public transport, but I still have to get on major roads on the bus.
Yes.
To get to work. And like, what other cities? Like, I know New York, Los Angeles, or the greater Los Angeles area. New York, Los Angeles, DC, and maybe Chicago. Probably have comparable, if not worse, traffic than us.
I would imagine. I don't know. Atlanta is big, right? Atlanta's kind of sprawling. I don't know. I the only time I've been in Atlanta is on a stopover on our way to and from Disney World, and we have all in our family, based on what happened to us in Atlanta, which is an extra long stopover, said we will never go back to Atlanta.
Did you get a Cinnabon while you were there?
I did not. No. Sorry. 128 is parking.
But I'm just wondering, like, is there others, like, is there other municipalities that have worse traffic than Boston, other than the ones that I listed?
I wouldn't imagine so. No, I mean, I would imagine LA is pretty bad. I would imagine New York is bad, but New York has a grid system, and New York has better public transportation. I would imagine.
Yeah, I just wish that there was better, like. I know that the commuter rail, the purple line, if you want to call it that, it travels through this place we're in right now. We're through Woburn, and but I have to take a bus to get to the train to get to the city. Yeah, whereas I should be able to just jump onto the commuter rail.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But when they decided where to make these commuter rail stops, it just is bonkers.
Well, they decided it a long time ago, and now the track is laid, and people don't live near.
Yeah, but I see the track. I can see it from when I'm driving to my bus in the morning.
And so is it a matter of they need to put in more stops? Is that what you think?
Well, that would be great if they put up more bus stops at least, so I don't have to drive to where my bus.
Right.
Because this is a major area next to where we live,
but there's no bus stop.
There's a bus stop in the middle of the afternoon. They come to the area right near here.
But that's in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, not when I'm trying to get on the fucking bus.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we just need a fleet of self-driving cars.
Or we just
or transporter beams.
Transporter beams would be great, but I don't think we're going to be investing in science in the next 4 years.
No, I think we need the new. As I recall from Star Trek: First Contact, we need a nuclear apocalypse first, and then we need what's his ass? James Franco. James something.
James Caan.
I think maybe he liked. Did he? No, is he the pig guy? Is he? That'll do pig. I don't know.
Oh, that guy.
I don't. I might be wrong, but there's a guy who's kind of drunk, and he's the one who's going to create the first transwarp drive. Or
was this
some,
Star Trek?
No,
First, yeah, it was First Contact.
First Contact.
The one
yeah,
when
so when they're back in the 21st century.
we're in the 21st century.
22nd century?
I don't know.
Maybe late 21st century. I don't know. I know that we need a nuclear apocalypse. Then this guy invents some sort of spaceship that's fast enough to get the attention of the Vulcans, and then we start getting closer to transporters. So unless we get to that, maybe.
So we basically need the help of the Vulcans or some sort of alien race that'll maybe like take interest enough in the human beings to say, oh hey, wait, they finally fucking figured it out and aren't complete assholes.
But first, we need the help of somebody to start a nuclear apocalypse, and maybe we have elected the right person.
All right, maybe for the good of humanity, he is the right choice.
He's the right way to get us to transporter beams.
Yeah.
There were so many threads in this first 11 minutes of this episode that I was like, I wanted to say one thing here, one thing. I don't remember any of them now.
Good.
128 is a parking lot.
Parking lot.
I remember that one because before the show, I was on YouTube trying to find the Sullivan Tire clip with the little girl who says 128 is a parking lot. And
she had a little speech impediment.
She had a little speech impediment, and all I could find was some other fucking kid.
Language.
Who they hired because they didn't want to pay enough for the rights to that little girl who did the classic line back in the 80s and the 90s. They didn't want to pay her or her family or whoever her likeness rights or whatever they'd have to pay.
Or maybe it was
they're like, let's get this other little kid. Except that they didn't fucking get that kid to have a speech impediment. Nope, she's cute. She's whatever. She delivers the line.
That's all they care about. Like, why the fuck would they care about a speech impediment?
128 is a parking lot. That's iconic. That is.
Was that as loud as my Pee Wee Herman?
No,
okay.
No, I backed up off it.
Oh, okay. Not like when I just like lean in and go.
When you go, ah! That wasn't bad. See, like that.
See, I'll back up and I'll go, ah!
Yeah. See,
even though I'm really far away,
it's solid, but it's a little toned down. Okay. I don't remember what any of the other threads. When I listen back to this, do the show notes.
You're gonna be like, I'm gonna write a list for next week.
That and that and that. I don't know what else we were talking about, but there were other things I had to say, and I don't remember what they were.
I'm glad I took two of these so I deturdified both of them.
You deturdified your beer?
Well, I don't know. When you buy beer in cans that like are in an open 6-pack,
yeah.
I always rinse them off to make sure that any sort of rat turds that have floated on top of the beers.
Good point.
Yeah, I kind of wipe them off after I rinse them. You know.
The more you know.
That's. We went to a place up in. I think it was. I'm actually going to give them I like the food there.
Okay.
But I'm going to give them a little bit of a bad review here.
Oh wait, you like the food, but you're going to give a bad review.
I'm going to give a bad review because of my beverage service. I ordered a Nana gasket like I tend to.
Yeah.
And they handed it to me with just like the top of the can was disgusting.
Oh, so they did not
like usually like when you have like a beer like this like or a Bud Light or whatever, you kind of just stick it into the cooler, into the ice,
stick it in,
and then like eventually the ice and whatever will get it all in there, and then it'll just like it's like
the ice does it.
It's self cleaning because like eventually the ice is going to melt a little bit and get the water in there that's necessary to clean it off. Just like when you have your beers in a cooler at a cookout or whatever. You just reach in, you pull it out. You're not going to think like, "Oh, I wonder how many rat turds are on here." You just kind of give it a little wipe off.
Whenever I reach in and pull it out, I'm hoping there's no rat turds.
Yeah. Why is there rat feces on my penis? Is that the show title?
No.
Darn. But yeah, so I got there and they have really great food. I gotta tell you guys, but if you're listening, which you're probably not, rat turds not so big of a fan of my beer. Just like take it under the sink, rinse it off. Maybe take a cloth or paper napkin. It doesn't matter to me. just kind of wipe it off and then hand it to me. Like, you know.
You don't like rat turds on top of your beer, but you drink Narragansett, so you're fine with rat turds.
You're saying it wrong.
You're fine with rat turds in your beer.
Oh,
like
stop it.
Fermented rat turds.
They do not. This is made on honor. They wouldn't put rat turds on something that's made on honor.
Made on honor.
And it's sold on merit. They wouldn't sell something on merit that's got rat turds in it.
Turds. You think if you fermented rat turds, you would end up with...
If you've got a beer that's been around since 1890. I mean, it sounds like we were sponsored again, and we're not.
Oh gosh, I wish I could. There were some funny things I was going to say earlier, and I don't. I just
totally ripped them out of your brain.
I didn't want to interrupt because we were on a good streak, and I was like, oh, remember that.
Silver Streak.
Silver Streak.
Is that a movie?
Silver Bullet. Do you drink
Weren't
that?
you in Silver Bullet with Corey Haim?
Ooh, Corey Haim. The Coreys. That was a thing back when we were kids.
What?
People liked the Coreys.
Yeah.
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman.
I allegedly look like Corey Feldman.
Corey Matthews.
I don't know who that is. Or did I say that wrong?
No,
hold on.
No,
I don't know who that is.
No. Corey, now I got to make sure I'm right because
who's Corey Matthews?
Corey Matthews was the star. Was the name of a character on
like Mr. Imus. That's the second week in a row with that one.
Played by Ben Savage.
Oh,
on a little show called Boy Meets World. And now he plays that same character on a little show called Girl Meets World, at least until it's canceled.
Why do you have to bring it up?
Because I want to go right from making Becky sick with us talking about rat turds to her crying
She's
about...
She's not going to be sick. Like, we were talking about people puking up rat turds. She would have been sick.
Which you just did.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it was just that was on my mind. That we had, you and I had an interesting... Twitter exchange.
Well, I sort of I just was like a conduit.
Yes.
Into like you guys having a conversation about it.
Because I had retweeted this thing from Slash Film about Girl Meets World getting canceled, and I said I was really sad about it because that my daughter was going to be really sad about it because she was really into it, and of all the Disney Channel shows. That my kids watch, I actually kind of liked that one. I thought that one was all right. And then
because it's also a continuation of something that you may have watched a little bit as a kid.
I didn't as a
See, I didn't either. I didn't watch Boy Meets World, so it's completely lost on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll out of the side of my eye watch it while I'm trying to solve a puzzle on my Nintendo 3DS. Dude, I am product placement man today.
But it's not your thing.
It's not terrible. Like I don't dislike it. I mean, there's a couple of house hunting shows that I'm less than thrilled with. I think it's Flip or Flop, and Becky agrees with me on that one.
But you watch it anyway.
Well, I don't know. House flipping shows are like those shows, or she kind of likes them, right. But like she agrees with me on the Flip or Flop one.
Right.
There's one, and this is hilarious. It's what the fuck is that? Fixer Upper. The
Fixer Upper.
Fixer Upper is the one we've been watching a lot.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's the one that I don't. It's the one that I like the most out of all the
Fixer
Upper. all the HD.
Is this like a husband and wife?
Yeah, it's a husband and wife. One of she's
I'd
Asian.
Like to see one of those.
White. They live in Texas.
Okay, I'd like to see one of those where it's the woman who's the construction person and it's the guy who's the interior designer. I think that would be awesome. I think it would be great.
That show is pretty good. Like they have a good chemistry, and it doesn't seem as forced as the other ones. But she's also got a line. Of Magnolia Farms is their brand or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they have a line at Jordan's.
Oh, Jordan's Furniture.
And so one of the things about the show, and if you probably may or may not have noticed, every once in a while. When one of us says, for me, I will immediately repeat it and say, for me, because that is her most. I mean, I have verbal crutches. I forget what Becky said mine was, but I'm sure it's something. I'm sure it exists. But the one that's hers is for me. And
I know those people. Sorry, I was looking them up.
okay, so so we went to Jordan's this past Wednesday.
Yes.
To see Rogue One.
Okay.
Which we can talk about in a little bit.
That was one of the things.
But I wanted to just preface it with this. So we're at Jordan's, the IMAX, which is pretty close to where we live.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are not from the area, Jordan's Furniture is probably one of the bigger furniture chains in the greater New England area. And they also have both the Reading and the Natick. They have IMAX. So we went to the IMAX to see the Rogue One, and they showed an ad for Magnolia Farms.
Oh.
And the first, like I had just mentioned, like we had just mentioned it to one of her friends that we went to see the movie with.
Yeah.
About how, like, for me, and how she says it a lot.
Yeah.
They show an ad for Magnolia Farms right before the movie.
Yeah.
The first thing she says in the ad,
For me.
and I'm like, and I start fucking roaring.
And everyone else in the theater is like, what
No,
the
well,
fuck
like,
is
you know,
wrong with him?
Becky and her friend were like cracking up too, but yeah,
For me?
yeah,
Is that
for me,
close?
it was,
All
you know,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Stephanie likes that one. She likes those shows too. Although she's been on this kick of weird shows on Netflix that like have been like she watched all of Gilmore Girls and then watched the Gilmore Girls
like
reboot. And then I think one of the guys who was in Gilmore Girls eventually was on One Tree Hill, so that's what she's on now, which is just weird. She doesn't even like it that much, but she's.
Speaking of watching and finish, well, I don't know about finishing. If you talked about finishing things, but yesterday was a thing for finishing. Yesterday I finished and platinumed the Lego Marvel Superheroes game.
You're all done.
So basically, I got all the. I got
Can
one
you go double platinum?
I don't know. I'm not Weird Al. What are you kidding? I got all the trophies in the game, so that means I got the platinum trophy.
That's why you weren't playing it when I showed up today.
Yes. Now Becky's going to try to platinum her game.
Yeah.
I guess I did, and I also finished. No, I already finished Buffy.
Yeah.
But now I've finished Angel. I'm done.
Holy shit! You're done with the Buffyverse.
The Buffyverse.
Oh.
Well, actually, I'm not, because just like with One Piece,
there's a comics, right?
Fuck ton of comics that pick up the story from where it left off.
Because they can't leave a good thing alone.
Well, I don't know. Well, the thing is, like, with I mean, keep on talking about One Piece, because might as well just be the One Piece podcast.
Yeah, you know,
which we're not. Which
not.
It already exists, and they're actually pretty cool and funny.
Right.
So like with One Piece, the comic is driving the series and driving any sort of other stuff. But like the thing is, with Buffy, the series was the thing. It was continuing the series. So it's different.
Right.
I mean, it's similar but different.
Yeah.
Well, I probably will end up because I think she has all the digital copies or whatnot. I might just pick it up and in an afternoon try to plow through as much of it as I possibly can.
Well, you're just finishing stuff.
Yeah, I'm finishing this beer.
Yeah, I mean, I finished Westworld. We talked about that. I have not finished. I don't know if we ended up talking about. I think it was on the list. I got. Speaking of Lego. And we should get to Rogue One. We should talk about that.
We will, right after you talk about Lego some more.
So I can't remember if we talked about this or not. But for my birthday way back, I got a Lego set. The first of what was then 3 Lego sets for Captain America Civil War.
Oh, no, I don't think we talked about this. I think I saw on Twitter.
Okay. And I put it on the list maybe for last week, and then we didn't get to it, which is fine. So I got the first one. And then for Christmas, I got 2 more. I got the smaller one. So the one I got for my birthday was the one that was in the middle. And it seems like for each of these movies that are big enough, they have one that is like $20. They have one that's like $30, and they have one that's like $80. So I got the one that was like
Legos have never been bargain
No.
toys.
Yeah.
I remember wanting a bunch of them.
Yeah, we never had them. ourselves.
Yeah, I remember getting a couple. I got this one that was like a pirate thing. I wish I still had them though.
Yeah.
They were really kind of
Well,
cool
I got
looking.
really into them.
And I got a space shuttle too.
As with so many things, well, Paul, your friend, and his older brother John, who was my friend,
They had a fuck ton.
They had a fuck ton. In their basement, they had a big table where there was so like Lego. I got into Legos over there. I got into computers over there.
I'd like to have both.
video games over there. Like
I'd like to have both Dan and Paul on sometime, and just to talk about like the different characters they had in their little Lego town.
Oh,
Like because there was like a lot of bunker. Like they would talk about things, and I'm like, this is fucking cuckoo bananas.
we should have them on and talk about that. Anyway, so I had for my birthday, I got the middle of the line, which was I think it was a jet that Black Panther was in. Black Panther's jet, and I think there was a motorcycle that Bucky was on, and then Captain America. I think by the end of this, I'm going to have 3 Captain Americas, 2 Buckys, a partridge, and a pear tree.
Oh, good.
No.
5 golden toques, 4 pounds of back bacon. Okay, no. 3 French toasts, 2 turtlenecks.
So the one I got, the bigger one I got for Christmas was basically the whole airport battle, which included a giant man, like that you put together with
Is it in
other
Fort
Legos.
Lauderdale? Oh, fuck.
No.
Why did I have to go there?
Oh, wow. I
Forget about that one?
I did forget about that one.
Whoops. Well, hopefully people, if they're not listening to this the week that we actually put it out, they won't remember it either.
They won't remember it
They won't
either.
remember my bad jokes at other people's horrible expense.
And so now I'm like, do I continue with my thing about Legos? There was another one with that was a couple of trucks, one with crossbones, another one Captain America, and then so all those had been out, and then I went on Christmas morning and I looked and I was like, fuck, there's another one, because I was sad that if you got all 3 of these sets, you had all but 3 of the people who participate in the big hero versus hero battle in Civil War, and so they came out with one that has the last 3 people. And
what
so
is
now, it is the Roxxon oil tanker that I don't know if that actually is the tanker that Ant-Man throws and the Captain America blows up, but
Rocks on, rocks off.
Exactly. Yes. No. So it's this one has This one has Spider-Man, the Vision, and it has Hawkeye. So those 3, and then I think it also has Captain America. But Spider-Man, Vision, and Hawkeye are the 3 that I don't have. So on top of my bureau now, I have minifigs for everybody except for those 3.
Oh.
And now they're in a box, and I just need to open it up and do it. But I am not finishing things right now.
All right, well that's fine. I mean, all I did was finish a video game that didn't require me like to put things together. It just had me. Actually, occasionally I did have to put things together because it was a Lego game.
It was a Lego game,
but not physically.
Not physically.
Well, and digitally.
The thing is the idea of me getting these as my Christmas present. First, I didn't have anything I wanted or needed, but the kids had fun with me doing the first one. The second one, the big one that we
Look
did.
at you being.
Being fatherly.
Yeah, that's great. I like hearing things like this. Like, well, and plus, like at this point, we're in our late 30s. What fucking stuff do we fucking need?
Not a lot.
Like I mean, occasionally, video games and such, but like a lot of that stuff.
Right.
Can be purchased digitally now,
right.
And like you don't have to have a bunch of stuff to have stuff anymore.
But and as a mid 30s or nearly 40-year-old, like you usually just go out and buy it yourself, because like if you want a movie, if on DVD or Blu-ray, you'll go out and spend the $20 or $24. You're not going to wait till Christmas time,
right? Well, I usually
that used to be one of the things that my parents got me a lot of was whatever movies came out that year we ended up getting on DVD. But at
now,
this point, I'm
now
buying
you're like,
them
I don't want a
out.
fucking DVD. Just give me a digital something download code, or buy me some iTunes gift cards or whatever else.
For the kids, we still have them get the The kids still get the Blu-ray or the DVD, which has the digital copy
Do you have a
in
Blu-ray
it.
player yet?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. But we did, but so that it's something more than a gift card to wrap up. We'll get the one with the box, and then we just download the digital copy. And the DVD and the Blu-ray never get played.
So they're not going to be yelling, "What's in the box?"
No.
That'll go back to, I think, episode 5, which was Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Gwyneth Paltrow's head, yeah. Spoilers for a movie we haven't
For a
identified.
movie we've already talked about on a previous episode,
Right.
That if you haven't seen by now, then you're fucking. Well, I don't
and
wanna
that
say
we
you're
haven't
fucking
actually identified. So really, we haven't spoiled anything.
Yeah,
it's
so
just there's a movie
I don't want to
with
say
that
someone's
line.
dumb for not seeing a movie that's really old.
Yeah.
But like, if you haven't seen this movie by now, don't expect to not be spoiled by things that are in pop culture.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause there's plenty of movies that I haven't seen that I know the basic plot of.
like Rogue One.
Well, I've seen it now.
But I'm saying, like, we last week or whatever week it was, I said I wanted to say something about Rogue One, and I was like, and I don't think this is spoiling anything, and I mentioned the plot, and I don't think I spoiled anything.
Well, I mean, do you want to? Nah, whatever. Fuck it. Spoilers. Who cares?
Oh, come on! At this point,
If you don't know what happens in the fucking movie, then in this case you are a moron, because like if you watched the first Star Wars movie,
Yeah.
and the thing is like
are you saying we should save Rogue One and talk
No,
about
fuck
board
it. No, we're
games
talking-
now? And
no, we're gonna talk about
right.
we're gonna talk about Rogue One now.
Okay,
So if you've seen the first Star Wars movie,
right.
like that nothing. Like,
If you've seen the first 30 seconds of the first Star Wars
Right,
movie,
if you
if
just,
you've
like-
seen the crawl in which it
yeah, that
says,
describes, and then like the first couple of seconds of
Yeah.
the first scenes in the movie with C-3PO and R2-D2 zipping
Right.
down hallways and shit. Like if you've seen that, you basically know like what happened. Like so, basically, all that stuff that happens in Rogue One happens right before that.
yeah.
So. A lot of people, if you heard the line and took it to heart that a lot of people died for this information,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
A lot of people die in this movie.
Not a lot of Bothans. A lot of Bothans died for the second fucking Death Star. So if you're all like, where were the Bothans? That was the second Death Star. Go fuck yourselves.
So the blah, blah, blah. What the fuck am I trying to say?
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yes.
So the fucking well, Plinkett.
There was no fucking in it. As
No,
far
there
as
was
I'm
no
aware.
fucking. Plinkett had a good, the guys at Red Letter Media,
Yeah.
had a good comment about the fact that if you had like this isn't something that you can watch as a standalone film.
That's their thought on it.
Well, basically, if you've never seen another Star Wars property, and then you watch this,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know if it would resonate. With
okay.
with somebody who's watching it.
Did they go more into that or
Well, yeah, obviously, I'm not going to go,
Again,
but I just wanted to just preface it and say that this isn't my original thought. This is
Yeah.
something that somebody else has said, and I agree with. Like, like if you haven't seen like the prequels and or the non-prequels or any sort of Star Wars entity,
Yeah.
then you're not going to be. If like there was no like Star Wars like. And there wasn't a crawl.
There
here.
wasn't a crawl. No. There was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Right.
And then the movie.
Yeah. If you go and see this, like if there wasn't any sort of like implication that this was a Star Wars movie, you'd be like, huh? What's going on? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
well, you would know that things were going on. Like, but like you,
I think
like,
the hard thing about a statement like that is that everybody who's making that statement is a person who's seen all the movies, and so how could they possibly know?
I'd like somebody who has not seen a Star Wars movie to see for their first movie that they see of Star Wars to be Rogue One, and then we can answer that question.
Yeah. I think the closest you might get amongst people I know is so here's a part where this is one of the things I've had, and we really are possibly spoiling things here. I would love to see, and my wife has seen Star Wars. Stephanie has seen Star Wars. She's seen it plenty. She's seen all of them, but she's not as invested in it, I don't think. As
she's not gonna be like, hey, that Grand Moff Tarkin, isn't he just a weird fucking like CG
Well,
guy.
so that's my big thing. So
Who's Grand Moff Tarkin?
I'm especially interested in my kids' reactions to Tarkin, because my kids have no conception of the fact that that is a dead guy, and how are they doing that. My wife might have that conception, but she might not notice, right? I have purposefully not mentioned that effect is in there to see if, when she finally sees it, if she says anything. My parents, who will intellectually know that guy's dead, will they have but those of us who are...
Well, I mean, he was old in 1977 when the first movie came out.
Yes, but are they going to be thinking that much about that? Because I think the people who find that effect jarring
are people that are normal.
No, I think the people who find that effect jarring are people who know that he's dead. And
No. You've seen Polar Express, right?
I have seen Polar Express.
What do you think about the effects and how they look?
The effects in Polar Express are absolute shit, and that is not at all what this effect was.
Well, the thing is, the effect we're talking about here is the uncanny valley. So basically, it's a robot or some sort of like thing that is very close to being a human but is not a human.
Right.
And
that's the uncanny valley.
That's the Cliff Notes version of the uncanny valley. It's basically like this dip in pleasure that humans experience when seeing something that so if you look at a robot like that looks like Bender from Futurama, you're like, okay, that's a robot.
Right.
But as the progression towards actually looking like a human being gets closer, there's a dip in the amount of like pleasure someone takes for looking at that, and that's the uncanny valley. It's like, why does this exist? Like these, like, and then once it gets back up to real human beings, people are like okay with seeing them again. But there's some slight imperfection or some slight thing that just looks a little bit wrong, and I'm definitely one of those people that has like that sense of revulsion towards that, and so we're not there yet.
I think
it's Grand Moff fucking Uncanny Valley. He looked better than the Final Fantasy Spirits Within or fucking Polar Express or the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Like, they might as well have just done a fucking live action movie with that instead. But you can't do crazy animation. Yes, you can do crazy animation. You can just have the actors be in this crazy animation thing, but whatever.
So
I forgot what the fucking point that I was trying to make.
No, I think the point you're trying to make is that they're close, but they're not there, and so it's still Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, why not just find an actor that kind of looks like him?
Okay,
I think that's probably what they did, but then they also kind of like pasted the freaking like facial expressions on top of that, and and they did the same thing with very brief appearance of Princess Leia at the very end, which is right before like it literally like from the end of this movie picks up exactly from where episode 4 A New Hope starts. And it wasn't as bad, but maybe because she didn't have as many lines and didn't have
you only see her for
and she didn't have as many wrinkles in her face because he was an old man. She's supposed to be younger in the
right. There's so many things I heard.
Those were the things that I had problems with. That and what's his butt, the Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, okay, yeah. What was your problem with him?
There was the scene where he's like, just go and just escape and blah, 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 blah. Like, why not just come along with us? Or at least try. Like, why give up right now? He gave up way too early.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And I think it was, I think that was just bad writing.
Yeah,
Because like
that's why I was interested in hearing what you had to say about that, because that feels like a different complaint than the other complaints.
yeah, I mean, like the rest of the movie, it was fine. It was entertaining. There was action. There was whatever. Like I did not leave the cinema being like, oh my god, that was terrible. Those were my complaints were like Forrest Whitaker just giving up too early.
Right. Yeah.
Like he should have been like, okay, come along, and it's like I have these fucking weird robot legs. I'm lagging behind.
Yeah.
Then you say, just go on without me.
Right.
Not like I'm standing in this room with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what? Yeah, just go.
Just go. Yeah. All right. So there's other questions I want to ask you about especially towards the ending, but I'm really interested in. So you have the complaints about the CG Tarkin, which was played by an actual actor. And
I do realize that, and that was superimposed over that actor.
Right. I watched a video the other day. Hopefully, I can find the link for the show notes where they went into Lucasfilm or into ILM. And went over exactly how they did it, and they worked hard on it. That doesn't. I think they can have worked hard on it, and it still be a failure. So I'm not saying that those things are have to mutually exclusive. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, if like, oh my god, I did so much great work, but if it still sucks, then
right. So let me ask you this:
we did a lot of work on this episode 1, Phantom Menace.
The other thing that I listened to this week was an episode of the podcast The Incomparable, where they talked about whether or not they should have tried this. What's your opinion on that? Was this the right time to try this effect, or is it still too early?
I say it's still too early. I thought that they would have figured it out by now. But I think there's just too many weird X factors that make it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the eyes. Like I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That they can't seem to get right, the eyes.
Okay.
Of like the eyes of a real human being as opposed to eyes of some sort of computer generated. But the thing is, like when it's a computer generated, the computer generated eyes of a cartoon character. Mm-hmm. That seems fine because you know that's fake.
Right.
And so, like, you know, if you see like a Disney movie or that has like, you know, the CG characters or whatever, or whatever anime that decides to use CG here and there.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, you're like, okay, I mean, these are just fucking like wacky cartoons.
So let me ask you this. The Vision, when you see the Vision in either Age of Ultron or Civil War, I think those are the only two that the Vision has been in. What's your feeling about that?
See, he doesn't seem, or maybe because his eyes are different. Maybe that's why, or maybe because he is, in fact, a computer, technically.
Yeah. Well, so my understanding of the effect they did for that, so they have Paul Bettany there on set, and they have Paul Bettany with, at some points, the same sort of rigging on his face that they had for the actor who played Tarkin. And they actually do replace most of, if not all of, Paul Bettany's face with a computer-generated version of Paul Bettany's face. I wonder, they do things to his eyes too, but I wonder if that's part of what makes it not as. I mean, they're working from. I would love to see. Maybe I got to go back to that video I watched and see if they talk about whether or not the eyes are the eyes of the actor or they're the eyes of trying to get closer to the eyes of the original actor. What the heck is the original actor's name? Peter Cushing. Are they trying to get Cushing's eyes, or are they just letting us see the eyes of the actor who's playing him on set? Because that might make a big difference. Let me ask you this: Robert Downey Jr., the young Robert Downey Jr. in that one scene in Civil War, did that bug you?
It was sort of weird.
Okay.
It was a little odd.
Yeah.
I think that it's stuff like that. I'm like, you know, when you see like holograms of Tupac or whatever, it's just not, I don't know, it's weird to me.
Yeah. No.
I'm not the only one. Like, you know, there's
no, you're definitely not the only. I'm not. I hope I'm not coming across as like trying
don't
to
come across the table. That would be gross.
What about my pants? No. It's just such an exciting conversation. No. I'm just trying to get a gauge because I'm really interested in this. I wasn't as upset by the effect as most of the people I have read about, talked with, or listened to. And I'm just trying to get a gauge for why it is that I might not have been. If if it's anything beyond me just having poor taste. Anyway, so
maybe it's because your vision is getting bad and you don't have glasses.
Maybe. What did you think about the Vader scenes?
I found it I found it odd that he decided to have his castle in Mustafar. Mm-hmm. Why? Why? Well, I guess that's I've had Becky and I had a little bit of a conversation about it.
And what was your?
Or maybe I don't know if that was like us talking or if it was just me like watching something and then we also had a conversation, so I mushed the two together.
Right.
So she'll tell me otherwise once she listens to the show.
Yeah.
But like that's technically where the birth of Darth Vader happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know. I was born in Lowell. That doesn't mean like I live there.
But if your whole thing is that you're fueled by hate, right? That's what keeps you there. Is part of how Darth Vader stays so evil for so long that he spends so much time on Mustafar, so close to not only where he died, where he thinks he killed Padme, where like all this terrible shit went down there. So if you're going to be Vader and you are going to use the dark side to maybe even heal yourself in addition to that Bacta tank, you want to be at the scene of the crime.
Bacta tank, is that a thing?
I think that's what that thing is called. The Bacta tank, which we see Luke in. Tank. We see Luke in the in Empire.
Oh.
Same concept.
So they're growing back, giving him a robot hand.
No, in Empire, when after he's been out in frozen
in the cold.
Overnight,
all right. We see when he had, I hope you smell better on the inside.
Yeah. After that, we see him in that tube for a little bit for like one. scene.
You don't smell better on the inside. You smell like a piece of shit on the inside.
Something like that. What about the second Vader scene? So the Vader,
the one
Vader
where
scene
he's
at the
like
end.
zipping through and just killing folks. I mean, that was. It was I as much as I wanted to be like, God, come on, but I was trying to be like in my brain I'm like,
yeah,
but like he was pretty badass,
right? No, I think that's that.
Like I wanted to say that he wasn't, but like it was a pretty badass scene, and like right when he comes into like he's about to walk into the frame,
yeah,
like the area around him gets darker,
yeah. Oh, I didn't notice that.
That was actually kind of cool, like and and then you see the lightsaber, and then you're like, oh fuck.
That's the reaction that I think I've heard from a lot of people is that we know that in some respects it feels like fan service. They're putting it in
the entire movie's fucking fan service,
right? But it's still bad. It can be fan service and be badass. Be like there's fan service, like putting 3PO and R2D2 in there for one frame. Or not one frame, but
one part of one scene.
That's fan service, and it's not as effective.
Like the better fan service was like when they were when they first got to the trade area or whatever. Well, they were mining the temple or whatever.
Yeah, Jeddah.
Jeddah. Okay, sorry, you know things better than I do, which is great. When they first got there, they ran into the dude that. The dudes
wanted on however many systems.
Yeah, those guys, like, like when it's like, oh, my friend doesn't like your face, I don't like it either. My friend has balls for chins.
That's the thing is those guys.
Like I liked that made me laugh. I was like, oh, fucking those guys. How the fuck did they get off that planet though?
Yeah, I would love to see because going back to the earlier point about Tarkin, I would love to see them talk about their decisions about which characters got the CG treatment and which characters didn't, right?
Characters.
So, I'm sorry.
I just want to talk about these characters.
Characters. Well, so the woman that they had playing Mon Mothma was the woman that they had previously used for. I think they're all
3?
Deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
So that's not the actor who played Mon Mothma in Return of the Jedi, who would, I think by this point, be much, much older.
Right.
Because that movie was made in 82, came out in 83, whatever.
When we were just boys.
Yes, when we were lads. So, she's in there, and they don't try to make her look like Return of the Jedi, right? And they have those two guys that you just mentioned. I don't think those are the original actors.
Yeah, and then they had other people that were like rebels that were also.
Now they have footage that they brought over from A New Hope that they used in some of the space battle sequences where they put I don't Porkins isn't in there, but a lot of the other leaders.
Porkins dies in the first space battle.
Porkins dies in the first space battle of a movie we haven't yet seen.
Yeah, we have seen it.
Sorry, sequentially it hasn't happened. So they take a lot of those.
Wedge.
I don't think Wedge was in there. At any rate, so like they make those decisions, but then, Tarkin, because we're gonna chronologically, we're gonna see Tarkin in half an hour or like in 2 hours, right? And if it's not the same guy, is that because Mon Mothma, we're not going to see Mon Mothma again until Return of the Jedi. So by that point, if we're marathoning it, we're not going to notice.
Well, if you're not going to see what's it like in fucking Iron Man 2. Mm-hmm. Fucking
yeah.
You have a different actor, entirely different actor playing a character. As opposed to the first one.
I would love to know why they made the decisions that they made. Go back to my answer to the question I asked you. I think it was the right time for them to try this effect, because if they didn't try this effect, nobody was going to try it.
Well, they tried the effect. It didn't work so well, but now they're in a position, because Carrie Fisher passed away, that she was supposed to have major role in episode 8.
I think she was done filming 8. The question is, did she have a major role in 9?
Oh.
That I think is the question, and I don't think you can take her.
Well, hopefully she dies in 8. Well,
I don't think you.
That's disappointing to say. I'm sorry.
I don't think you can take her Prozac-shaped urn and CG that into Carrie Fisher.
I just made a very disappointed face at him.
Sorry. We're getting low on time. I wanted to bring in the Prozac-shaped urn.
We're not getting low on time. We could go for as long as we fucking want, Chris.
Could. I love that she had a Prozac-shaped urn.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was a champion of mental illness.
Yeah, and that she wore it. She did not hide at all that she was somebody who that was a not struggle is the wrong word, or maybe at times it was a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't say that like living with mental illness is not a struggle.
Yeah, well, she lived with mental illness, and so and she had a tremendous sense of humor. So the fact that her remains are in a Prozac capsule is just about as good as Hunter S. Thompson getting blown out of a cannon.
I mean, it's probably great for the Pfizer Corporation or whoever made them.
I don't know if it actually says Prozac on the side or just looks the right colors. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right.
If I can't stop fiddling, I just take me Ritalin. That was from The Simpsons.
Oh, that was on my list. But we were going to talk about board games. So
we can talk about board games next week.
I don't want to get you off on a tangent, but I heard somebody on a show I was listening to on the way over here use this expression, and you just referenced The Simpsons. So now this is the opportunity for me to ask. This person said, everything's coming up Milhouse. And do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, is that from a specific episode, or is that like from the larger Simpsons culture? Like,
no, it's from a specific episode.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain it?
Yes, because I know who Milhouse is, but
yes.
The expression "everything's coming up Milhouse" does not.
So
ring a bell.
There's a scene where Milhouse is complaining to his mother that he's wearing these short pants, and then a short, maybe. Couple seconds later, he opens up the door to his bedroom, and then water starts flowing in.
Oh,
and then he's like, "Oh, my shoes are all wet, but my cuffs are bone dry. Everything's coming up Milhouse."
Okay, that's he used. That's good. All right. Now
I don't know why why Springfield was flooding. I forget what the circumstances were.
Doesn't matter, but that's where the expression comes. Huh. All right. Now I know. The more you know.
Do.
No, I don't know if I have that clip sitting around somewhere that I can just slot it in there. What the hell else was on the list?
How much time do we have?
We have about 6.5 minutes till we're at an hour.
Well, let's see. Okay, I just want to address the fucking assholes in Chicago.
Okay.
Just briefly, because next week people aren't going to be talking about it,
right? And you mentioned this to me before the show, and I had no idea.
So there was several, and a lot of what the right wing media complains about in these situations, and their sort of they sort of have a kind of point, is that when they talk about the news stories here, is that they say these teens kidnapped this guys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they don't mention race. And this is something that you should be mentioning race, because this is something that is a hate crime. Like if black people are attacking white people, if white people attack black people, it's a hate crime, and vice versa. So this is something that Obama, our black president that we still have for precious few weeks left, has said is a hate crime. Like, and it doesn't make it like true if like a black person or a white person says it. It is in fact true whenever anybody says it. But the thing is, like, the fucking assholes that did this, like, they did a shitty thing. They tortured a person who was mentally disabled, like a young man, just because he was white. Like, this is what happens when you instigate, when you just basically say, we are a bunch of whites, and I'm not saying this. But when Trump supporters, like, instead of me saying we, because I'm not a Trump supporter, or Orange Man supporter. When Orange Men supporters are saying that God dang it, that they are white supremacists and they are supporting a fucking terrible organization like the KKK or whatever else,
or the Trump administration,
or the Orange administration,
the Orange administration,
the Orange administration. Like, when a bunch of like Caucasian people are saying this, like, you have to expect there to be a backlash. You can't expect there to be like, oh, everything's like roses and fucking fellatio.
That might be the title.
I don't know. Is that okay?
Roses and fellatio. There's nothing inherently wrong with fellatio.
All right, good. Obviously,
as long as you reciprocate.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, it's not going to be great. Like, you got to realize that fucking shit like this is going to happen a lot now. Like, and we haven't even gotten into the administration yet.
No,
we still have a great president.
Yes, for 2 weeks.
Yeah, like, we still have somebody who's
less than 2 weeks,
who is a fucking adult that treats people with fucking respect
and doesn't go on Twitter and instigate possible international incidents.
I'm just saying,
or get into fights with the former governor of California.
Yeah. Like, over fucking like how his ratings, where he's an executive producer.
So
why the fuck would you bash something that you are the executive producer of?
I don't know.
Like, you are getting money. Like, whatever. I don't fucking know.
Which, of course,
I don't understand this man at all. I don't understand why anybody understood. Like, no one understands this man.
No, but he's funny.
No, he's not. No, not even close to being funny.
I'm saying, I still recall, and this was, oh gosh. So a year ago, when he was not yet a year ago, or a little more than a year ago, around the holidays.
When he was still a dipshit that, like, prior the primaries, that it was
like Christmas time 2015. This may even be on record on one of our episodes. One of my relatives' boyfriends was this is an older, I might as well say husband, but they're not married. Said, oh, I like him because he's funny. Like, that was his thing about. So when I was saying
he's not funny, he's
this Christmas, that same guy was one of the last people to leave our big family gathering pre-Christmas, and he was there. He was not saying, I think he's funny anymore. And he wasn't saying he was panicked or anything, but I did not bring up, oh, yeah, you remember a year ago when you were like...
Well, that was very nice of you.
But, yeah, no. He's not funny. I agree with you that he's not funny, but that
like,
was
he has
reference.
Like, the timing of just being punched in the face.
Yeah, no. He's frightening to me.
Well, he should be frightening to the entire world. But I just want to say, like, this fucking shit in Chicago, fucking don't do this shit. Like, please, like if you're going to protest or you're going to be angry, don't attack people that fucking have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Like, this mentally disabled person, like like, even if they did vote for Trump, like, they probably were doing it because their fucking moron parents fucking were supporters of them.
There's a whole bunch of I think,
like, if you're gonna fight people, like, fight people the right way. Jesus fucking Christ, fight, like, go protest, like, do like the things that we still have rights for before they completely gut the fucking Bill of Rights.
I think the solution is more empathy, not less empathy.
Right. So, like, I understand where these people...
You can think somebody's an asshole. You need to understand...
I think these people that did this are fucking assholes, but I understand why they fucking did it.
Right.
Like, I completely understand. Because, like, their lives are going to become fucking abysmal. And they probably weren't great to begin with. Right. Which is, if you have a great life, you don't, like, kidnap a fucking handicapped person and torture them for fucking 4 hours and stream it live on Facebook.
Is that where they did it?
That's where they fucking did it.
I totally missed this. When you like
if you have a great life, you don't do that to somebody else.
Fort Lauderdale thing that you mentioned earlier, I saw, but this one I had not heard about.
Just realize, everyone out there in the world, just realize that everything you do and say has consequences. And I may be an ass sometimes on here. I may say things that are less than quote unquote PC, but there is not malice in my heart towards other people. And, you know, Chris is a better liberal than I am.
I wouldn't say that. I think all of us liberals have certain problems, and but yeah.
But, like, we're both good people. We both fucking know that we're not trying to fuck other people over. Yeah. So here's the thing for 2017. Now that we're 2 weeks in, as far as the show goes.
Yep.
Just don't be a fucking asshole to strangers. Try not to be assholes to people you know as well.
Right.
But just be fucking less shitty. Be less shitty. Instead of what our orange president elect is trying to promote is more shitty.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/128. That's 128. And if you'd have...
128's a fucking parking lot. Remember when the little girl said that?
I remember just when she said that. There's a bleep on the...
no, there wasn't a bleep. They said it on the ad.
Oh, she said it on...
I forgot. Oh, my God.
128's a fucking parking lot.
128's a fucking parking lot. I got to fucking go to the doctor. I got a vag itch. What the little girl said.
If you have anything to say about anything we've said, you can send those things you have to say by email to hot@clarkwoods.com or by tweet, where on the Twitter I am at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser, all one word. And I've realized that I have trouble, like, because, like, last week...
You couldn't spell?
I know. I promoted my Twitter prior to yours.
Yes.
And I don't know why that threw me for a loop both times. And so I was kind of like, ugh, what's going on?
What is going on?
I don't know. There's a lot of fucking crazy shit going on. So buy lots of guns and...
and shove them up your asshole.
I hope so.
Which will stop you from being an asshole.
I don't know if that'll... Well, it might stop you from being an asshole because the amount of guns in your asshole might kill you.
The more you know.
Ding, 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 ding.